Hello there, and as usual, I'm Aaron from iStand Gamers, and welcome back to another Battlegrounds video. This time we're going to be talking about something that really excites me about this game, and it's prediction of what the enemy are going to be doing, getting inside their head and using basic sort of human psychology to outplay them and take them out. But the first thing I want to tell you is if you don't have the experience, you don't know how to win in a gunfight, you need to really get that, or you're going to run in there and you're going to get knocked out by a very skilled player with a frying pan, and none of us want that at all. So learn the mechanics, learn the gunplay, get some instant action, and try to learn how them weapons work. It's extremely important in how you're going to predict people's movement. So the second little factor I want to talk about is getting inside their head. How are we going to get inside their head? Well, humans tend to follow a very similar sort of characteristic. They like to follow the path of the least resistance. You've probably heard this many times. People like to take the easy route. Say for instance, there's cover around the edge of a field. People will like to take the way straight across the middle of the field because it's faster, it's quicker, it's easier for them, and this is going to allow you to take advantage of this. This is the same for predicting where they're going to be going to next. Check the map, have a look at the next hamlet on that route, check the bearing they're heading, and you can simply work out where they're going to be. Observe how they loot the buildings. What do they do? Are they quickly looting? Are they dragging everything into the hood? How fast do they clear a building? And maybe you could be waiting in the bathroom of the next house for them. Or maybe if they take too long looting, you can quickly sneak in behind them and take them out. Now the next factor is something I like to call like the Splinter Cell effect. A long time ago in Splinter Cell, basically they had this feature where the last known position of you was marked as a shadow. And every time you leave a position, I want you to think of yourself at that position still if the enemy don't know where you are, because the enemy are going to investigate or try to get an angle on that last position. And what I'm going to show you is a quick clip of how you basically continuously watch your last position until they mess up. And this player does it twice. He heads towards my last position at the wall, I'm not there, I engage and miss, and then he heads to my last known position upstairs. But to catch this guy completely off guard, I move downstairs, putting myself in a position that is not the best tactically because I've not got the advantage of height or the element of surprise, but I'm going to catch him completely off guard because his mind is thinking that guy's going to be waiting at the top of the stairs just like every other player has done before, but I'm not. Now this brings me really nicely onto the next factor. This is something I want to incorporate with squads as well. If you're not just playing alone, this is the element of unpredictability. If you want to win or have a real good chance of taking out other players, you want to be really unpredictable. You can't follow the same rules that everyone else is playing. You can't take that path of least resistance. You've got to take it a little bit more complicated. Say for instance, use that cover, move around the outskirts, or even try something different. Instead of being upstairs like everyone would expect you to be downstairs in one of the lower rooms, catch them off surprise, and keep being unpredictable. And you'll find yourself running into multiple situations where you take out multiple enemies at once. Very simple, but just not really used that much. Now we're going down the list a little bit further, and as I'm talking about the squad, is something that I think is really important is organization. You can't dare have any sort of lack of communication. You've got to have key communication, and secondly, you've also got to have no lack of command. You've got to have a distinct squad leader. If you have any sort of hesitation, someone decides to do something else, or even you have a moment where you go, guys, what are we doing? Where are we going next? That is going to get you killed. Have a guy saying, right, we're moving to this next location, we're moving right there, and you'll always be on target, and you won't mess up when you guys lose a little bit of discipline. So this moves on to points 2 and 1. This is stalking and taking out your target. Since we're in the head now, we've predicted where they're going to be going and what they're going to be doing, as well as we've probably reconned their equipment through the stalking stage. So we've seen that, alright, he's armed with an AK, he's armed with an assault rifle. Where is he going to be vulnerable? And we want to draw them into a position where we have the advantage for the ambush. The middle of an open field, not a cluster of buildings that they can easily hide in, and we'll stall the engagement. You want your engagements in Battlegrounds to be very quick, over very fast, because the more attention, the longer the firefight, the more people will be drawn to the gunfire, causing even more issues. So I'll give you a few tips now of how to get in the head and things to avoid. And my final tip is go out, get the experience, and try to look more into what people are doing. Look at patterns, look at trends that people tend to do. Where do people tend to go? How do they get there? And then either avoid or work out a strategy to overcome that issue. Say for instance, someone is blocking the bridge. Don't think you're gonna have to ram your way through it. You could set up a side position, take them people out. They're in the open in the middle of a bridge. You could use a boat. There is multiple ways around every situation. Anyway, if you like this sort of video, something a bit different, something that reminded me a bit more of the older DayZ survival guide days, let me know in the comments below, and maybe I might even do a survival guide. I'm quite excited about Battlegrounds.